So, yeah, like we're kind of brats, actually. Like, especially teachers. No offense to you, but you guys complain way too much. You get 3 months off of the year, and
I
they're
think that's
striking.
great. I mean,
You
I
guys are
feel
striking they're striking in Chicago and not teaching the kids while men are dying. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes, it's like, the men are literally dying to give us crap, and women will say, whatever, but I have to watch kids. It's like, fuck you. Like, come on. But
I wouldn't say that teaching's an easy job.
oh yes,
But
it
I
is.
will say this.
Comparatively.
Uh,
Comparative, like, and I could show you, because there's women that post their day in the lives as teachers. Like, come on, or you know what? Here, I'm gonna show you something, and you can be honest with me. Really, you think that your job is as hard? Let's share this. Hold on.
see, I didn't say that.
I
What
know,
I'm
but
trying to say,
I just want to show you because it makes it more real. Look at this. I mean, like, where is the men campaigning? Literally, a guy dies every week. They fall off the boat and they're dead. And the teachers are complaining. Give me a break. Look at that. You see what I mean?
I see what you mean. I just
Not
want
really
to
the
argue
same.
that I want to say that, like, they do deserve to get paid more, but so do teachers. Like, I'm not saying that, like, maybe men are underpaid. I'm not saying you're wrong. Like, maybe men are underpaid, but when it comes down to it, like, I'm over $12,000 in debt to go to school, and I went to school to be a teacher, and I literally had to work an entire year without getting paid. An entire year where I was working 8 hours a day and going to school and paying for school, and I didn't get paid at all. I didn't get paid at all for an
Right.
entire year.
Well, then why would you go into a profession that's not high paying? Everybody knows teaching is not a high paying profession.
It's not, but I'm passionate about it.
Right, but that's the trade off. So women say, I want to do an easy job and get paid a lot. It's like, okay, now you're being a brat,
But
Like,
I
women,
wouldn't
and
say
then
it's
we say, okay, ladies, go into engineering. That's the hard job. Then you can get paid a lot. And they say, no, I want to do what I'm passionate about. And I say, well, then take the pay cut.
and I
Women want,
have,
yeah, which is fine, but I'm saying, like, you don't get both. You don't get the easy air conditioning jobs without doing math or
I
teaching
think
addition.
I'm blessed in a lot of ways. I'm blessed, but that doesn't mean I don't struggle. I struggle a lot. And, it's hard because this is one of those jobs that, it takes a lot of work to lesson plan and to prepare and to grade. And at the same time, I'm in school right now. So I'm doing,
Okay, so here's
15 units.
see the complaining. You see you're complaining, right? Right. And then yet, we'll go back to this. Hold on. These guys not complaining. You see? You're going back to being a complainer. Well, these guys are like almost dying and they're not complaining. And that's men versus women. Women like
I'm
you.
sure that if we had a conversation with them, they would complain,
No, they
but they
wouldn't.
have every right to.
I actually have had conversations with these kind of men. I've interviewed thousands of people at this point. I have talked to them and they don't complain. Ever. Or okay, let's do another equivalent. Then we got the man running.
The video is heart-stopping. A mother desperately
running into fire, a burning building. And yet you say, but the grading, the teaching, but I have to grade, teach, and it's not to diminish what you're doing. Obviously we need teachers, but it's just not the same.
It's not the same, but you are diminishing what I'm doing. I'm saying I deserve great pay, but those men deserve more pay than me. Yes. Do they deserve more?
I'm actually saying you don't deserve great pay. I'm saying you deserve what you get. And if anything, I think that teachers are overpaid because you guys get 3 months off in the year. So I'm saying we got to stop telling women you deserve everything. Sometimes you don't.
I don't think we do tell women that we deserve everything. And I
Right,
think
but
that
you just said you deserve great pay, and I'm saying you don't deserve great pay.
I deserve better pay for having an education and putting myself
No, because if you just you
through
deserve
that.
okay, that's again, let's go back to the law firm example. I deserve this job. Well, you didn't go to law school. No, but I really deserve it. I deserve this job. Well, no, you deserve what you get.
How is your example accurate when I did go to school to be a teacher? When I put in 5 years of my life to
Right.
study and better myself?
Okay, I'll give you an equivalent. They say I deserve a lot of money, and they say you're a public defender. You could have been a high-end lawyer. You should have went to the school for the high-end lawyers. Or in this equivalent, I deserve lawyer pay. Well, you're a teacher. Then why didn't you go to the lawyer school? Well, but I deserve the great pay because I wanted to be passionate about it. Well, you don't deserve it. You deserve what you get.
I just I was thinking about this the other day, and like, for example, I feel like people in the military deserve to get paid more, but who gets paid more? Celebrities and athletes. Like, they get paid an incredible amount that,
Well, most
and
don't.
that's
To be fair, a few do, but most don't. I was in female athletics for a long time, and I knew a lot of male athletes also. Most do not make money. And that's why though, because like the reason is military. They know if they go in the military, the pay structure is very like it's a lot more stable.
right.
Whereas an athlete, they might have a lot of money for 2 years, so they take a lower pay because of stability. I could see what you're saying. Military should be paid more, but that's the reasoning. Is
Mhm.
they get, I mean, I'm in my industry. I've seen people go broke, because they're unemployed. They're famous one
I'm
year.
just
And
talking about, the people we see on TV, they make thousands upon thousands, and even in the 100,000s. And I think to myself, their life is cushy compared to some of the people that had to grovel. But then again, I don't want to diminish them because they work their entire life to be an athlete, and they have a talent, and they have a routine, and their diets are rigorous. And so it's like, who am I to tell them that they don't deserve it? You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't feel like you should tell me that I don't deserve, good pay when you don't know the struggle that I've been through. But I am saying, I do agree that the people that you're telling me about that risk their lives, yes, of course they should get pay. I mean, I'm sure they get hazard pay,
but
no
you
doubt about
understand.
it.
So I'm talking to you, right? And I have this with a lot of women, so it's not just you. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to kids. And the reason is because they just say everybody deserves everything. And at the end of the day, the market dictates the results. The need, if something's really difficult to do, it's paid more. The reason athletes are paid a lot is because it is pretty difficult to be an athlete, and a very small percentage get to that point. So when you say, well, I deserve more and everybody deserves more, it's like, well, that's not pragmatic. There's only so much money to go around, and the hardest jobs and the smartest jobs are going to get paid more. Occasionally there's exceptions to this rule, but as adults, we know that exceptions don't make the rule. So we're not going to go back and forth about every exception that exists, right? We're trying to get to the
No.
point here. Yeah.
The big reason I think that teachers deserve to get paid more is because of the fact that they have to put themselves through an education and not get paid for the entire year in order to become a teacher, especially since they are literally preparing these individuals to become the future generation of who's going to do things. I just think it's a very important role. Maybe it's not as
I
hard
know.
and you consider it cushy, but it's
The problem is you guys are doing such a bad job.
not
Yeah.
us.
And
It's the curriculum.
well, you can try to, and that's kind of what happens. Women, whenever we fail at something, we always blame somebody else.
Okay,
So,
but if I'm being handed a curriculum and said, teach this, I
right.
can't change that.
Okay. The administrators are mostly female also, though.
Not the people that create the curriculum.
So education is primarily female. It's like 90% women or 80% women. This goes for the principals of the schools who get to pick the curriculum. This goes for the people behind the scenes. It's a very female dominated industry. So, if the curriculum's bad, then I blame the school. I went to a private school. And it was a mostly male administrators. And we did a lot better than the public schools. But, you know, what happens is women go into an industry and they tend to ruin it. Now, you know, in Chicago, there's kids graduating high school that literally can't read. They cannot read. And unfortunately for teachers, you guys have done such a bad job that your reputation is just terrible. People do not view teachers in the same way they used to 50 years ago because the kids are coming out super liberal. They're putting a lot of this trans stuff in books. People are sick of it. And the kids, they don't know how to do basic math. They don't know how to read. And when this has happened to your friends, people that you know across the board, people, you know, teachers have a reputation now. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's kind of the reputation that you guys have. So, and I by the way, I can even say my job, podcasters, we have a terrible reputation, and I would say it's deserved. You know, this isn't me trying to come at you because people hate YouTubers and influencers, and I can totally understand why.
I mean, I can like respect,
yeah, I can understand why. Teachers, people don't really like teachers because you guys are doing a bad job. People don't like YouTubers because every other day they're like caught in some criminal activity or doing something shady. You know, I've been in this industry a minute. So
I mean, like, I definitely respect that. You know, you probably put a lot of, I mean, that's something that's interesting is your life. You've put so much time into this, and it was not easy to get to where you are, you know. But even according to your standards, you'd say your life is cushy. But you shouldn't. But you don't deserve to be told that you didn't work hard to get to where you are, because you did. You worked very hard.
But I think there's a red pill for women. A lot of women believe they're in the positions they are, and we tend to get a big ego. And I could kind of hear it when you were talking. You said, "Oh, these guys aren't getting degrees. They aren't getting degrees." But you also said you're in debt. So who's the dumb one? You know what I mean? You're the one in debt where they're the ones living at their parents' house with no debt. You know what I mean? And yeah, you think you're smarter, you know, it's kind of funny. But what happens is there's a point where most of the stuff we're given is just because we're women. And we have it way easier than the men. And I went through this too, where, you know, honestly, I'm one of 10 kids and I have 5 boys, 5 girls. So I really saw the gender difference. My brothers are way smarter than me, and they had to work 10 times harder. And yet I make more money. It's not fair. They provide a more valuable service, but I'm a woman in a niche industry, and I somehow pulled this off. My brother did a bunch of engineering stuff that was very difficult. I could not have done that. So
I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that you're a woman. I think it's just the industry.
No, it's because I'm a woman. And I could tell you, because there's a guy he hates me, and I actually think it's kind of rightfully so, because he has been in this industry for like 20 years. And I just came into the industry after like 2 or 3 years, and I like lapped him in followers and views and all this stuff. And he was pissed. And I understood why he was pissed, because he did all this work I didn't do, and I was more famous and made more money.
I think it's just because you're so controversial, you know what I mean?
Oh no, he's controversial. We're in the same industry. Like he has similar talking points to me. He's way smarter.
No, but you're a woman that hates women. Like that's.
No, I don't hate women. I hate stupid women and women that don't take accountability for their choices. So
I know.
Unfortunately, that's most women. I don't hate you, I'd like to say, but it's very frustrating when, you know, I have to have a 30-minute conversation with you about, like, instead of just saying, yeah, men like thin women, maybe I should lose weight. Like, that could be such an easy sentence. And with a man, I've had fat men on here, and I had a very similar conversation. It's very easy. I tell them the same thing. I say, hey, you're fat. My producer, actually, one of them, he, you know, I said something along the lines of, like, you can't really demand anything from women if you're fat, you know, and he started losing weight. Anyway, so but the difference is when I say things to men, they agree. They don't say, oh, like, even the man you showed me, he was thin. That's the crazy thing. You like thin men. Like, that's the crazy thing.
I
But
like.
the men, sorry, but when I say this to men, they say, you know what? I should lose weight. But when I say this to a woman like you, I have to argue with you for 30 to 45 minutes about that men like what they like. Yes, there are exceptions, but in general, you're not going to get what you want till you lose weight. And that's a true statement. That's actually way, and I'm being way nicer to you than all these body positive women that are going to lie to you 24/7. All these women hate you. They really do. I want actually something better for your life. All these women, they hate you because they're just going to tell you you're perfect as you are. All these men, they want to bang you. So they're not going to be honest that they're leaving you and not calling you back because you're fat. And that's me being honest. That's me. I'm the nice one, and I get such a bad rap. I get such a bad rap.
You know,
I told my little sister the same thing when she was a little younger than you, and she lost 100 pounds, and her life is completely changed.
See, I do think that you could be honest but be kinder, but you wouldn't garner as many views if you did. And you maybe
I have been nice to you the whole time. I have been perfectly polite. I haven't raised my voice. I haven't yelled at you. I haven't screamed at you.
I agree. I think that
you might not like the reality, but there's podcasters that scream at women. I don't even raise my voice.
Sure. I mean, you could say I'm overweight, but you say fat because that gets more attention, right?
Well, you are fat, and that's okay. Just lose the weight. You don't have to be. Like, that's not an insult. Your obesity at 240. I mean, this is bad, and no one's really being honest with you about how bad it is. But 5'9", and to be honest, everyone told me I wasn't fat when I was fat. And I hated him for it later because I'm like, why didn't you just tell me? My God, 240, 5'9", 240 BMI. Okay, 35. You have 35.5% body fat. If you're being honest about your weight, which you're probably not, but let's go with that. 35.5% body fat, which is categorized as obese.
Right. I think
and that's actually class 2 obese. So you're not
like
there's normal, there's overweight, there's obese, and there's super obese.
Aren't women usually anywhere from like 24 to 28% body fat, something like that? They usually hold a little bit more because of.
No, I mean they change. Again, what happens is women make all the spending decisions in society. So a lot of people are paid from women because women make 80% of consumer buying decisions. So to put that in perspective, if you're a business, you can either make $8 and lie to women or make $2 and be honest. So most people are going to pick $8. So they always change everything to confuse you. 17 to 22%, 21% body fat is where you should be as a woman, especially if you haven't had kids yet.
Did you say 22%?
Yeah, 17 to 21% body fat. That's where you should be. All right, so let's say 22%. Let's say 22 or 21. How much do I need to weigh to be? And don't believe that stuff that says the BMI chart isn't accurate. It's pretty accurate. I've done the scans. I've gone pretty in depth. Unless you're like a bodybuilder, it's pretty accurate. And you're not. How much? 20 body fat. Because I'm pretty high muscle and it's still pretty accurate for me. Okay, so you need to lose 110 pounds. You should be 130 to 144 pounds. That's what you need to lose 100 pounds.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I will ever weigh that. I will lose weight. I won't lie to you. But okay, let me put this in perspective for you.
You're gonna have a life of misery.
Wait, but let me put this in perspective for you because
I'm gonna read this really quick and then I'll let you go. Hey Pearl, I'm a Marine of 24, 6'1", blonde hair, blue eyes. I live in Vegas. Come to Vegas. We'll get married and have a honeymoon the following morning and then get it annulled. No, thank you, but I appreciate the offer. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so when I was 17, I was a swimmer and a water polo player, and I was working out year round. So mind you, I wasn't eating very much. I was swimming 2 to 3 hours a day. I was burning 800 to 1,000 calories a day. Over winter session, I did water polo and swim camp at the same time, so it was 4 hours a day. During
How
summer
much did
camp,
you
I would do swim camp, water polo camp,
weigh?
and lifeguard. I was working,
How much
and
did you weigh?
I working out that much all the time. I was 170 pounds.
Yeah. So again, that's because how many calories were you eating a day?
Not very much. I can promise you that.
It's just not true. Look, you gotta
See,
be.
but
No.
I
So
had
okay. So how many hours a day did you work? 2 hours, 3?
workout. I would say 2.5 hours is a fair assessment.
When I was 18, I was working out 2.5 hours of, let's just say, cardio a day.
And swimming is hard. Swimming is very hard.
I understand swimming, and I weighed 170. Oh, he definitely left you because you're fat. I'm not gonna lie. You went from 170 to 280. Yeah.
No, not during that time. I went from 170 to 230.
Yeah. I mean, that's still pretty bad. And I weighed 170 pounds. How much was I eating a day at 5'9" to still weigh that much? Because you said you might be drinking the calories, because that was a big problem for me. I figured out I was fat because I used to drink caramel lattes all the time. At your weight, I bet you drink 2 or 3 chai lattes if you eat one thing for dinner. I bet you have a sugar drink addiction.
But when I was in high school, that couldn't have been accurate because I didn't have money. I didn't have a job. I was 17. I ate when my parents fed me, and when it came down to it, it was home cooked meals.
3,000. You're probably eating 3,740 calories a day. I'm telling you, look, if you want to gaslight yourself, it's totally fine. You were eating too many calories. If you are overweight, you do not gain weight without eating too many calories.